So good afternoon and welcome back to the lagoon right outside Disney's Hollywood Studios, and we're back for another Skyliner update, mostly because I want to say about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I've been a little late on this one because we've had a lot of other things going on. They announced the travel times for the Skyliner, so we came on over. We're actually going to go to Caribbean Beach because that is the main hub, but I kind of want to see how the main hub's looking today. But I also want to go over and look at Riviera a little bit and all that stuff, and then we'll talk about all the travel time considering everything will central Adelaide, the Caribbean Beach main central hub. So we'll talk about all the travel times there. We'll take a quick look here. They actually have no gondolas on this line right now. Now they've been doing it where it's been mostly in the afternoon, so we'll be looking at, maybe we'll see them putting them on. So let's head on in, or let's head on over there. Wow. I'm not going into a park, I'm going to see Skyliner stuff. So still, you know, nothing really changed with this one. They just started doing a lot more of the exterior work. A lot of scaffolding's down, so this is becoming more looking like just the station like it's gonna look when the walls are all down and you wait in line. Now you see there's a lot of fans, because I don't think there's any air movement inside that station. But the way that they describe the gondola cars themselves is that they're gonna have a lot of openings so air will flow through. Plus you'll be moving at a very high rate of speed. So that's something I really don't mind. Again, if you don't want to ride it because you think it's going to be too hot, don't ride them. Like, that's the thing I don't quite understand. People are complaining about that. And I mean, I know that's just how people are, and they're like, well, it's a flaw. But to me, I think it's one of the coolest views you get, and I guarantee you they've done their research. Like, they're not just saying, oh, you're going to melt in these things. So, but yeah, it's really weird not seeing any gondolas up here today. So, I did see gondolas, though, when I was driving in from the Riviera station to Epcot. So, but yep, coming up to the bus stop here, I need to find the Caribbean Beach Resort line, which is for 28, which is going to be down on the third main loop down here, I think, if I remember correctly. Actually, this time it's actually going to be in the second one. So, there's like four main, like these like blue things. So, the one there, which is 1 through 8, this is 9 through 18. This one's 19 through 30, and then the one down the way is 31 through 38, I think it was. It's either 38 or 36. So, like I said, head down here for the Caribbean Beach stop. And one little bus ride later, we are back at Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort. It's kind of funny, I literally walked up, and right when I walked up, there was a bus sitting there. So I was able to just jump right in. But I did want to stop and take a quick look at the Riviera Resort, which is the newest DVC vacation club. So Disney's Vacation Club or DVC, either one works. Wanted to check out the construction progress because this is supposed to be opening in December. No official date, but they have started accepting reservations via cash. You can see the outside wonder still needs to work, but look at the middle section right here. That middle section looks really good now. I mean, like, I like the look of it. Apparently supposed to be all about European looks, stuff like that. You can see this still has some work to go, but you can see like inside the scaffolding, you can see a lot of it being worked on still. So, but if we turn to the left here, you have the Disney's Riviera like station. There's no more scaffolding around it, and you can see it looks like you can see where the line's going to be. See the little structure right there. That looks like where the line's going to be, and there are a couple gondolas they do have on that line. Now, again, if it's anything like what the Studios one went through, the Studios one had a lot of like 1 or 2 gondolas at a time. There was no like consistent running of them until almost a month and a half in when they were running them. So, but kind of cool to see all this because it's a brand new Disney Vacation Club area, and the Disney Vacation Club is a very popular option for timeshare. Because not only can you just use it at Disney World, you can use it at Disneyland, you can use it around the world for adventures, so it's kind of one of those nice little things to have. So now we gotta head all the way back across because pretty much we're on the other side of where the station is. Gonna keep walking from here all the way over to the main gondola station. So coming this time of the year is one of the best times to come because it's right after spring break season and Easter's done and over with. So you still have a little bit of a crowd coming in on the weekends, and like you still have some of these cheerleading events going on, but it's not extremely crazy. Plus it does rain, so if you're like me and I've always been the advocate of if it rains, stay in the park, because then when the rain's over with, usually no lines for things. So, but the only downside of this time of the year, this is what we call love bug season. And everywhere you look, there are love bugs flying around. They're the little bugs that are like butt to butt, and they have no usage for any reason. Apparently, from what I was told from some friends, is that they were an experiment of eating mosquitoes and it never actually went right. So, but yeah, downside to this time of the year. want to get the sense of size for this resort. So I walked all the way from the down by where you see down there, there's the Riviera resort, which looks really good with the aesthetic of this resort, so I feel like it's a great thing to have. But on the other side, it looks like that sandy coloring thing. On the other side and to the right is actually the main lobby area, and I was all the way down by Riviera. So I walked all the way from down there to here, and it took me about 5 to 10 minutes to walk down here. Because I had to get all the way under here, and I'm trying to get to, I think this is the, because that's Jamaica, I think this is Trinidad. So the Trinidad section. I'm trying to get down to the Trinidad section, because this gives you the best look over at the main central gondola system. So just past the bridge, and here we are. We're back up to the Disney's Caribbean Beach Central Hub, which will house all the gondolas. And this is where one of the main gondola stations will be. And this is where a lot of this stuff, like this is the main hub. This will have the, this has the most like areas to different, so like you have this system right here, it goes to Pop Century / Art of Animation. You have the one right behind it, which goes to Hollywood Studios, and then this one will go to the Riviera and Epcot, or Gateway Center. So, this is definitely coming along, and it does look very much like the Caribbean Beach style. And you can see they do have a couple gondolas hanging out there, but they don't have any gondolas out on today, because I don't think they're doing any testing with that today. A lot of the testing they'll do right now, especially with the Riviera stop and the Caribbean or the Epcot stop, is they'll start putting like a gondola up there and practicing, make sure it can follow the route all the way around, and then they'll probably put it back and then like the separate sections. So, but the main reason I really want to be in this area is because this area is very easy to record in, because there's not very many people. As you can see, not very many people are walking around here, so I feel like I can talk without people staring at me. So the travel time for the gondola system here, for the Skyliner here at Disney, we'll go with followed, and we'll start with the Disney Caribbean Beach. And I have my phone because a lot of these I still don't quite remember all the times for. So you look at the main line that we've been watching them work on the most. It's the Caribbean Beach to Disney's Hollywood Studios. It says it's going to take about 5 to 6 minutes to get from here to there, or from there to here. So a round trip, 10 minutes total. The line going from Art of Animation, Pop Century, to Caribbean Beach, or Caribbean Beach to Art of Animation / Pop Century, 5 minutes. So that means if you are over at the Pop Century or the Art of Animation, you will be able to take them. You can take one of these gondolas, which when they're running, and if there's no issues, they're running it. I mean, they're running all the time. They're always loading. You going from Art of Animation, Pop Century to Caribbean Beach to Studios, between 10 to 15 minutes at the most. Now, and then sometimes you may have to wait for a bus that long before you actually get there. And I think the gondola station is a little bit closer than the bus stop. So that's the Hollywood Studios, Caribbean Beach, or Caribbean Beach to Hollywood Studios. And then that's the Caribbean Beach to Art of Animation, Pop Century, and Art of Animation, Pop Century to Caribbean Beach. So 10 minutes to 15 minutes for a round trip from Pop to Hollywood Studios. The next one, though, is kind of interesting to read about. Sorry, I had to get my hand down for a second. This next part is kind of interesting because it does look like you can stay on the gondola going from Caribbean Beach to Riviera to Epcot. So that means you do not have to get off when you get to the Riviera station, which is a good thing, because that means you don't have to worry about getting off there. So what they are saying, from Disney's Caribbean Beach to Disney Riviera Resort, 5 minutes. Understandable. I think that's actually probably gonna be less than 5 minutes, but that's what they're saying. It's gonna be about 5 minutes. And then they said, from Disney's Riviera Resort to the International Gateway at Epcot Center will be 9 minutes. And then they're saying from Caribbean Beach to, where is it? I just saw it. To the International Gateway at Epcot, 15 total minutes. 15 minutes isn't bad. So what that means, sorry, I was like, my arm was getting really tired, and I don't have my tripod with me today to use to hold it. You can get on the Caribbean Beach station to go to the International Gateway and never have to get off until you get to the International Gateway at Epcot. Which now means if you are, you're at Caribbean Beach, because of how big this resort is, sometimes the buses may be really full, and this will run consistently as long as there's not much lightning in the area, and I think its winds will take it down as well, but they've anticipated for the high winds. That's why there's so many of these, like, these beams. But that does mean you can get on here at Caribbean Beach and stay on through the Riviera Resort. Now, that may mean, like, when you get there, they may ask you, are you getting off, or are you staying on? Which is a good thing, which means it's a continuous, that means there's no, it's not like the rest of these, where you have the little turnaround where you have to get off. Because that's the thing, like with the Pop Century to Caribbean Beach one, you have to get off to get onto the Hollywood Studios one. But also, if you take the time of what that says, so 15 minutes from here to Epcot, that means if you're at Pop Century Art of Animation, you can get on this one, ride it over 5 minutes to this station, and you can ride from 5 minutes, 5 minutes here, and then you have 15 minutes, so 20 to 25 minute travel time. But I think that's gonna be the best one because you could travel through there, you get to come into here, but then you'll get to come up and over and see the Riviera resort line, and then you'll see the Riviera. Then you'll travel over roadways, over the water, over Yacht and Beach, Swan and Dolphin, and the Yacht Club, over by Epcot, and just soar right into the International Gate, which will give a great view of the brand new Ratatouille ride, which is still being built and will still being worked on when this opens, so you'll get a really good view of that. And then it'll give you a great view of Epcot itself. So, honestly, so you're not looking, it's not a lot of time for traveling for these. And like we've said before, and like one of you has commented before about how many gondolas they can possibly run and how many people you can run every hour. I mean, I do think this is going to be one of the most effective ways of getting around because it's easy to get on, it's easy to get off. They're always loading, they're always, I mean, like at studios, I've seen them have the 6 to 8 in the station, 3 on one side, 3 on the other side, and then they have a separate area for, it looks like, for people who may be in wheelchairs, but they're also big enough for wheelchairs. Someone did comment also saying that it looks like maybe the big reason outside of the crowd levels inside the parks, the reason they also cut down on the size of the strollers is because then they'll be able to fit easier into these gondolas and still give people room. Now, like I was making a comment when I was at studios, a lot of people are not really happy with the studios, with the gondolas. They're not happy with these gondolas because they think, oh, it's going to be really hot in them. I don't think that at all, because if you look at the design of them, and they did have a picture somewhere of a gondola sitting out, and I'll probably put that in here. It looks like that multiple flaps open, and they said the doors are not quite fully, like, they're like a light glass, but will have air to be able to circulate through them. And so that will make it where there's still air movement, and when you're up that high and you're moving that fast, air's going to circulate through them. But if you don't want to ride it, that's really up to you. To me, this is going to be one of the coolest, I think this is going to be one of the coolest things, because gondolas are one of the best ways of traveling around, and I think it gives you some of the best looks. Because if you're staying at Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort, and you get to fly over Caribbean Beach, you get a high up view of it, and it gives you a really sense of the size of this resort. And then if you're coming in if you're going into the Pop Century Art of Animation, you go right over Hourglass Lake, and you're literally about 15 feet off the water. You go right into that, and it gives you a really cool view coming in over the water. But kind of the sense of this thing, the thing to kind of understand with what's going on with it, is you have to keep in mind that even though these are done really being built and they have the gondolas testing, there's a lot of testing that goes on for these things. Just recently, I saw a post about how they are now starting to do their testing on what to do during evacuations. How do they get people off them if they were to stop? But then they're also going through the process, can they restart it if it stops for some reason without having to take people off the ride? And that's why if you look underneath, if you travel around enough, you'll see underneath all the gondolas, it's very flat concrete. It's to get those machines in that need to be able to get people off. So that means Disney is taking no precautions. Like, they are taking every precaution, taking no risk with this. So they're taking every precaution. Like, they are literally going to start testing, evacing, if something happens like that. But with also, like, I was talking about the weather thing with this thing, is apparently it's a 26-mile lightning radius. The reason for that is because of how long it's going to take to get everyone off. Because once that sky to ground lightning happens, they have to clear the gondolas, but that means it gives them that 26 miles to do it, so. But yeah, you may see a lot of that going on over the next couple of months if you come to the parks. Because they're still saying not till fall. But I do think they're going to try to maybe open at least one, like the Caribbean Beach to Hollywood Studios line, before Star Wars Galaxy's Edge opens up. So now I'm going to come over back towards the Jamaica section. This is where I got the first view I ever got to see of the station when I came to Caribbean Beach. But also I've learned this is my favorite stop to be re-picked back up for the bus. But I guess it's kind of one last good look of it. Like I said, we saw the Riviera looking absolutely gorgeous, but it's going to be very expensive. It's going to be very much of the level of Disney's Contemporary Resort, Old Key West, which is my parents' favorite place to go. But it won't be, but see, like, it's more expensive than Caribbean Beach itself. But you can see a lot of work still going on. They've got a lot of things going on, but you can see they're starting to do a lot more like a little road work around that area. So I wonder when this is all said and done, because I'm just right next to a map, so I thought this was a perfect place. I wonder if they'll show off the station right here. So, and then when Riviera opens up, they'll add it here. So December for that, fall for this. And kind of another good little look of the side here, and I do love the look of this station. I still think my favorite is Pop Century Art of Animation, but this one looks very much, and it's kind of funny, they have this little stop right here, and I think that's for people who are going to be working it, so it's like another security checkpoint. Unless they're moving the security checkpoint from over there to over here, but I don't see that happening. But I like the look of this. It's very nice and pretty. I just want to get one last little look at this from this side. This is going to be going to the Riviera / International Gateway at Epcot line. And I did forget to mention about how long it might take to get from Disney's Hollywood Studios to Epcot. Now, the thing about Disney's Hollywood Studios to Epcot, there are now going to be, with this new Skyliner, it's going to be 3 ways. You know, 3 different ways. I don't know why I'm doing it different ways. So I think 3. But there are going to be 3 ways of getting there. You can either take a boat from Disney's Hollywood Studios to Epcot's International Gateway. Actually, it's 4. And vice versa. Or you can walk, which is actually kind of a fun thing to do if you've never done that before. And then, right now, they still have buses that do go to Epcot. But also Epcot has buses that go from Epcot to Hollywood Studios. But now with this now adds a 4th option. And I do think this is the more fun / quickest option. Because the boats take 25 to 30 minutes. That's what I've gotten it before. This will take between 20 and 25 minutes, because if you take the International Gateway at Epcot from the Riviera to the Caribbean, it's 15 minutes. And then if you take Hollywood Studios from Caribbean Beach to Hollywood Studios, or Hollywood Studios to Caribbean Beach, 5 minutes. So you're getting 20-25 minutes, but then you get like some of the best views. I do like the fact that kind of the Disney Art of Animation and Pop Century stops are kind of so far out of the way, but I mean 20 minutes from studios to Epcot, 20 minutes from Art of Animation to Epcot, and vice versa. And then from Riviera, since they said 9 minutes, about 15 minutes from Riviera to Studios and 9 minutes to Epcot. So kind of a fun way to travel, I feel like. So now that I was thinking about that, I was like, wait, I didn't talk about this or that. So coming up to this is the Jamaica bus stop. This is the second to last stop before they leave. So coming up here, don't know which bus that is. I hope it's not a Hollywood Studios one, because I don't feel like running to it. But you know, normally they have buses always coming about every 20 minutes. Oh, that is a Hollywood Studios bus. Remember my comment about the love bugs? This is nothing a wall of love bugs. Yeah, they don't sting, they don't do anything, they're annoying, that's all they are. Well, it's kind of funny, coming up, it looks like they are adding gondolas on to do some more testing today, but the way they load the Disney's Hollywood Studios gondolas in is they have to load them from the left. So if you look at them, that side actually normally is the one you're going out. So it's kind of interesting to see how they have to load them, because I think they're loading them from the left. So if you look, there's 2 sides to their station essentially. You have the left side and you have the right side, and the left side is the one closer to Pop Century and Art Animation. But it's always fun. Oh, that's a Winnie the Pooh one right there. You can still see a little. They don't have them all uncovered, and I don't think they'll have them uncovered for some time. But you can see they have numbers on the sides. That's like 249. That's gondola number 249. It's little things you can see, but you can see they're just trying to put their gondolas on right now to start running them for a little bit. That one's starting to lose its covering. I can't tell what that one is. I think it's a Pirates one. That's gondola 202. So, really cool actually though. Can't wait till these things open up though. 5 minutes I can see. Definitely, they say 5 to 6 minutes really, so. But, still gonna be really fun to see when they finally do open up. So pretty much now that I am back at Disney's Hollywood Studios and I was watching the gondolas run for a little bit, I am going to call it a day from another Hollywood Studios gondola update, because really not much else to really talk about, because really until we get an opening date, something else we can really talk about. I mean, we can come back and look at more stuff, see if they're running things, but, and we still have to go back over to the Epcot line at some point for the International Gateway. But I probably won't do that until probably the next month or the month after, because I've done so many of these updates as of lately, so. But really kind of cool to see all the timing, and that really 20 minutes can get you from Epcot to here, or from Pop Century to Epcot. So it's kind of a cool thing to see how quickly these things will be able to run. Plus, as we are looking at, I mean, there's like a gondola every 2 to 3 seconds, looks like, coming overhead. Like, That one just left, and I should be getting one coming over my head. Right there. So about every 5 to 10 seconds, one's going overhead. So, but with all that being said, we do head out from a very fun time checking out the Disney Skyliner gondola update. We will see y'all next time.